the man who is said to have pioneered the Bodhisattva ideal was a man called Avalokita. And there's a story, an amazing story, about how the Bodhisattva ideal arose in his heart. He had been, for many, many lifetimes, a very intense practitioner. And he had given his life in service. And he was coming to that miraculous moment when he would enter forever nirvana, absolute liberation. And he prepared himself for this momentous meeting with the Absolute that he had been pursuing for hundreds and thousands of lifetimes. And at the moment when he felt himself dissolving into the Absolute, he heard a rabbit cry out in pain. And at that moment, he found this vast, sacred vow rising in him, which has been crystallized as the vow of the Bodhisattva. And that vow goes like this: however innumerable sentient beings are, I vow to save them. However inexhaustible the defilements are, I vow to extinguish them. However immeasurable the dharmas are, I vow to master them. However incomparable enlightenment is, I vow to attain it. The real Jesus, not the Jesus of the churches created in his name, that have entombed him far more effectively than he was entombed in Palestine. The real Jesus had an absolutely naked, simple, revolutionary message, which has two parts. The first part is, and this is what needs to be at the heart of any new Christianity, if such a thing can arise out of this decadence that has passed for Christianity. The first part is an outrageously beautiful challenge to every single human being to wake up now to their divine consciousness. Because the real Jesus wasn't posing to be the unique Son of God, nor did he want to found a religion. What he wanted to give humanity was the path to the relationship with the divine that he himself enjoyed, from which all these healings flowed, from which this magnificent teaching came, because he knew that if you or I could establish through faith and prayer and meditation and passionate commitment to service a relationship with the Mother-Father, that relationship would divinize us and make us a wholly different kind of human being, a divine human being, very human and vulnerable to all of the pain and injustice and craziness of the world, but grounded in a direct knowledge beyond thought and concept of our divine nature, with all of its peace and power and passion. And they took that Jesus and they distanced him from the world. They made him into a unique Son of God. They placed themselves as mediators of the message, and they totally destroyed this unbelievable, radical, passionate plea to the whole of humanity to wake up and claim its divine nature in a direct communion. that is the tragedy which has cost humanity so dearly. The second part of the message is a part that echoes absolutely what happened to Avalokita on that amazing night when he gave up private liberation for the liberation of all beings. And the second part of Jesus' message remains the most radical part. And you can put it in one sentence. And that sentence would be, love does not mean a hill of beans until you are willing to give your life, to put it into constant action. And this is the greatest of his teachings. This is Matthew 25. And everything is in it. But if you really heard the Bodhisattva prayer, you will hear that prayer echoing in these astounding words, which are the words of reality itself to us. It's set in a slightly strange way, but that's fine. You'll get it. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth the sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. And then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me. Notice Jesus is not saying you're here because you're in super consciousness and understand the 18th level of emptiness. That's 101. That's the foundation. But until you're pouring out your life to realize it in the messy, crazy, chaotic, rebarbative conditions of the world, you're still a narcissist, and you haven't exploded your heart open and just gambled your life away for God. And they're bewildered by this. And then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? When saw we thee sick or in prison, or came unto thee? Verily, the king says, I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, you have done it unto me. When you become the universal heart, the cry of a rabbit will prevent you from the last orgy of subtle narcissism, your longing for private liberation. And when you become the universal heart, you will see that heart living as every human being, as every sentient being, as every blade of grass, as every stone. And you will know the truth of Matthew 25, which is that whatever you do from the depths of your sacred consciousness for others is done in the deepest essence for the full divine. And knowing that, not believing that, not having faith that that's true, but doing the deep and grueling inner work that can help you get over yourself, so that you can see on the one hand the absolute agony of the world, and on the other hand that you can feel this glory of love and peace living in you. Knowing that is why you and I are on the planet. You and I all know that the planet is now in extreme danger. A danger that the Buddha and the Christ, I don't believe, could have foreseen. A danger far, far greater than many of us now even dare to imagine. A danger which is challenging every single human being to become awake to their inmost divine consciousness and active, urgently active, together with others, to help birth out of this madness and chaos and worldwide death a new humanity that can work with the laws of divine love and truth to create a new world. There are two narratives out there about our crisis. And if you listen to the conversations that people are beginning to have, because many, many people are now waking up in awe and trembling and terror to the extent of this multifaceted crisis. If you listen to conversations, you'll hear that the narrative goes in the following two ways. Some people, a lot of people, far too many people, will say, don't get your knickers in a twist. Don't worry, God's in charge. Or scientists are in charge, or the experts are in charge, or the politicians are in charge. And they're fundamentally good people, a bit weird at the edges, but good people. And we will solve this because we are so loved by God and so amazingly brilliant and intelligent, and when roused we can do anything. You've heard that 100,000 times, haven't you? What you have to be able to hear is that those people are psychotic. And they are mired in an extremely dangerous form of denial. If we were so brilliant, why would we have created out of desperate separation a death machine that is now destroying everything? Why would we be pursuing business at all costs, even at the cost of the possible survival of the human race and of a great deal of nature? And why would we not be coming together as a world to deal with this overwhelming agony that is now spreading like cholera in the whole human race and is already afflicting the natural world in the most terrifying way? Because, as you know, in the last 40 years, half of wildlife has been slaughtered. The Amazon is burning down. Nobody's doing anything serious about the environmental crisis. And business as usual in this stinking concentration camp that we have made of the world is the one mantra that everybody seems to be reciting. Not Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate, but Om money, 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 money. So that's the first narrative, and it is bullshit. We are in extreme danger, and the danger is in every single level.